Now, I wonder what it was like to be a club kid and getting a bird's eye view of professional baseball. I mean, he showed you what it looked like to be able to watch through the backside of the club. I also heard stories about kids climbing up, and staff as far as that goes, up onto the rooftops of the club, which I wouldn't think would be a good safety measure. But we have asked some of our alumni, we have 4 club alumni who will be participating in a panel discussion. And we also have a moderator who is one of our alumni of the Palmetto Club, Miss Alexis Griffin. So I'd ask Alexis to come up, who is currently a student at Florida International University, and she will introduce our panelists to you all. Alexis?
Good morning. Can you hear me? Great. Before I begin, I want to say thank you, Ms. Dawn, for that wonderful introduction. But if you didn't see my shirt, it says once a club kid, always a club kid, so I want to support it. So for all the alumni, you're going to want to get your hands on one because it is by far the best Boys and Girls Club shirt I own, and I have a lot. So, yeah. But now I will have the fine pleasure to introduce the panelists for this morning as we take a look back at 50 years with the Pirates. So to begin, I will start with Brett Pollock. He was born and raised in Bradenton as a club kid. He attended all 3 clubs, and he is president-elect of Bradenton Kiwanis. He served 36 years with the West Manatee Fire and Rescue District. So everyone give a big hand for Brett Pollock. Next up, we have Mr. James Thomas. He is Code Enforcement Officer for the Holmes Beach Police Department. James is a Navy veteran and has spent many years working for local governments. So can I have James Thomas come up for me? Next up, we have Stanley B. Cromartie. He is a native of Bradenton and serves as the Director of Intercollegiate Athletics at Edward Waters College in Jacksonville. He is a former college basketball player and has served as a basketball coach for a number of different colleges. So let's give a big hand. He's already walking up here. And lastly, but certainly not least, we have Mr. Omar Edwards. He is Assistant Director for Manatee Technical College East. He has served on the corporate board of Boys and Girls Clubs of Manatee County for 10 years and is also involved in many local organizations. Omar played football for Ole Miss in the 1990s. So before I begin, I want to thank you gentlemen for being here this morning. And I'm going to ask you a few questions, so just take turns with the microphone and pass it as you will so we can hear your awesome stories, okay? So my very first question for you guys is about the monkey bars. Can you tell us the significance of the monkey bars as it pertains to the Pittsburgh Pirates?
As it pertains to Pittsburgh Pirates and myself, monkey bars were the place with the best view without getting on the roof, Don. Watched many games while I was at the downtown club in the late 60s, early 70s, so it was an ideal spot to watch a game.
The monkey bars for me I was shorter than these guys, and it was the best view, VIP view, to get in the game.
Yeah, I got a different story because I played baseball, and for me the monkey bars are where I can go and be a part of those monkey bars, and when they hit a home run and chase and get the balls that they get, and then actually sell them back to the fans. But we enjoyed those monkey bars, man. But it was a great time. And I went to the club in the middle 70s, early 80s.
I got a little bit different spin on the monkey bars. We use the monkey bars to really train to develop our muscles. Because there were 2 things when a home run happened. We had to run to get the ball, and then you had to fight the person to keep your ball. So you better train on the monkey bars to make sure you're big enough, bigger, stronger, and faster.
Okay. Well, Those are awesome stories. I'm not the biggest fan of monkey bars, but you guys look like y'all got that down pat. Alrighty, but no doubt, as you say, you ran, chased up the balls. You all encountered some kind of baseball stars throughout the years. So can you give us an idea of who you met or saw?
Well, it's probably hard to believe right now, but I was a very shy person growing up, so I didn't really walk up to strangers. Like my mom trained me to stay away from strangers. So naturally, we've encountered a lot of people that played on a regular basis. But one of the things, we had that distance view, and we were fortunate enough to be drafted by Willie Cooper, who had us in the parking lot parking cars. So we rarely got a chance to really meet people.
Well, for me, I got a different story. The Pirates were baseball players, professional baseball players that really interacted with the Boys and Girls Club. They would come over to the club, and unlike it was today, where security was just so struck with it, you couldn't get to the professional athlete. I met Willie Starr, Dave Parker, and those and they were very approachable back then. And so, for me, it was great to have the Pirates here, and I became, just from that, I became a Pirates fan. And like I said, I even played baseball all the way up to my senior year. Then I had a little stint somewhere else, and I'll talk about that a little later. But they were very approachable, and it was good for us. So that's my story.
My story is a little bit different. I got in where I met Mr. Clemente. He would see us playing baseball, we're doing it wrong. He'd stop what you're doing, and we're gonna do it right. He taught us things like there's only two positions: on the field, off the field. Try to keep us with our behavior situations. But if you had a T-shirt that said Boys and Girls Club, that was your ticket to get in to the game next door. So as soon as the teams would come in, we would run to the bus. We would tote their things to the field. They would allow us to get in to be the ball boys or whatever. And that was one of my biggest treats. And every day we would come home from those games with baseballs, bats, signed. And the bad thing about it is that we just played with it as soon as we got home. We didn't know that was memorabilia. But Roberto McClente was probably the best person I've ever met, and changed a lot of our lives on the spot.
My recollection is Mudcat Grant, Willie Stargell, Manny Sanguian, and obviously Roberto Clemente. But one of the things, being in that left field area is you got to, if you could sneak out the front door of the club, you could go see the visiting team leave. And you could see all the other players from the other teams that came to Bradenton to play as well. So, we had a really good relationship with the Pirates, even in the schools. I was telling Dawn or Francine that Coach Ackerman would bring the players to Palmasola School where I went. So, the interaction helped develop me as a ball player as well.
Awesome. Okay, so big names. And I heard a mention of baseball parking. Yes, I've had my hand with parking as well, Mr. Cooper, always on the outside. And so how did watching these games, seeing the players kind of shape your love of sports throughout the years?
The biggest thing for me, seeing them just walk through the center. And I thought we were part of the Pirates. I thought I was a Pirate. I live in Bradenton. But I always thought we were part of the Pirates growing up all my life. I thought, when you say Pittsburgh Pirates, I said, I'm a Pirate because we have in and out tickets to go in anytime, and they always was part of our team like a family.
Well, for me, like I said, it just looked different because, interacting with the Pirates and being a part of that era, I became a baseball player. And just not baseball, I played football, basketball, and baseball. But playing baseball here in Manatee County, I played Little League Baseball. Then I played Senior League Baseball. And I played high school baseball. And in Senior League, we actually played on Pirate City's field. And when I became a high schooler, we played at McKechnie Field. And because of that, I led the county in batting average. I had a 438 batting average out of high school, but I chose to play college basketball. But I was a pretty decent baseball player, and I fell in love and fell in love with the Pirates. I tell people, Jeff, I'm a Pirate fan. I can tell you the 79 Pirates starting lineup. First baseman Willie Starr, the second baseman Randy Stennett, third baseman Bill Matlock, shortstop Tim Foley, John Candelario, the pitcher, Manny Sanguin, Ed Ott, the catcher, Omar Marino, the center fielder, Dave Parker, the right fielder, and John Candyman and Kent Jacoby were the pitchers. I'm a Pirate fan.
That's definitely a tough act to follow right there. But it was hard not to envision yourself as a baseball player. You know, you got your first opportunity to look at teamwork that makes dream work. So naturally, when you look at starting out in Little League and being impacted, I think a lot of times we talk about the players, but the coaches that you encounter by sports and athletics are phenomenal and amazing. I've watched them develop different people, whether you're a special needs student or you're a student that's gifted in some other ways, but they were able to have everyone work toward a common goal. So naturally, it was hard not to envision yourself one day hitting a home run in that field. We practice each and every day. We got our stance correct. We got our hips correct. We always envision not an in-house home run, but actually a grand slam. And we would get the point. That's where it's going.
My story is similar to Stanley's. Even before Little League Baseball came into Manatee County, we played at the Boys Club. There were 3 or 4 fields out back, and that's where I got my start playing baseball. Went on to play, Little League and Senior League, high school, all county, all area, first baseman back in 1979. So, I mean, the Pirates and baseball is so crucial to this county. Look at all the athletes, all the baseball players that have come out of this area. I see Jason over there looking at his phone, but Jason, a big ball player here in town as well. So that's how it affected me.
Perfect. Okay, so I just want to comment before I ask my next question. I could see your eyes light up when you talked about it, so I know you're really passionate. So, perfect. Thank you. And so my next question, I know one of you already kind of answered it. Did you ever trade the signed baseballs that you caught or whatnot for anything else, like money?
I didn't know it was that important at the time. I wish I had that foresight like you did. No, it's just the experience of being part of the Pirates and networking, eating over there with them, meeting and greeting them on the bus. At the end of the game, they would come back and check on us. I thought it was great that a year later, when they would come back, they would look for certain kids that they were trying to, feed into to get them to grow. That was probably the best experience. That's the only thing I remember as memorabilia that I walked away from.
Well, I'm going to tell a different story, which is the truth. Like Omar said, once those baseballs cleared the fence and we ran and chased those baseballs, we would get those baseballs and God bless it. We had a guy by the name of Wayne Bacon who would autograph him like he was a baseball player. and we were selling back to the fans. Because on the corner, you had a place called Cecil's Diner that sold the best cheeseburgers and fries. So we would go to Cecil, we would get that money to go to Cecil's Diner and get those hamburgers and fries, but oh no, we sold our baseballs.
I can remember collecting cars. I can remember having binders and have the nice sleeves that we would slide them in and be able to exchange with other ones. But naturally, you would have different people that wouldn't give you your baseball cards back, though. So you had to be really careful, because what I've learned over time is you couldn't take all your cards with you when you went to trade. You just took the ones that you wanted to trade. Because other than that, you might only lose the rest of your cards, so you wanted to make sure that you impact. And I think what is real key is, we didn't have the nice fancy fields like we have now, so those old wooden things, if you poke the hole in it, you can actually get a good view of the game.
My recollection is what James said earlier. I didn't know that they were going to be valuable. I took them home and we played in the yard with them. The baseballs, the bats, even gloves. They would toss us a glove every now and then. So, no, I didn't sell them.
Well, thank you for the honesty, and I love the little cheeseburger story. And so my very last question then is, what are your fondest memories at the club and with the Pirates?
I think it's, getting out of school, driving in the little blue bus to the boys club. If we got out of school, at 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock, we still could catch some of the game, getting on those monkey bars, being tossed a baseball by the left fielder who was warming up, listening to the crack or the smack of the baseball on the, those of you who remember the 10 corrugated outfield fence, the big green monster in center field, just listening to the balls clank off of that. And the friendliness of the Pirates and the other ball players that were at McKechnie.
Mine would be just being on a team. First you had to go to school. Second, you had to go to church. This is the South. And third, we had the boys club. It wasn't Boys and Girls Club. And if you wanted to get into the field, you just had to follow Mr. Cooper. If you were real good that week, he'll give you a t-shirt. He makes you tuck it in, dress you real nice, and said, go and enjoy yourself. And we could go over to McKechnie Field and have the time of our life. And we would go back to school. People would say, you wasn't at the game. You didn't get to meet those guys. And you're lying. And I'm like, no, we were there. We got this, we got that. So, we didn't know how important it was, but it was a great partnership. And I hope that partnership continues on. Thank you so much with Major League Baseball and the Pirates partnershiping in a neighborhood in Bradenton that needs that impact. I didn't know how it impacted, but it really impacted from people working in the concession stand that I knew, people selling peanuts, selling tickets, parking, and a little bit of bootlegging. Thank you for the impact.
Right. Well, I tell you what the Pirates meant to me in the boys club. I think that it made me even want to play baseball a bit more. And like I said back then, I was one of few African Americans that stuck with it and played it. And but I ended up playing college basketball. But I had a year, after 4 years of basketball, I had a year to play baseball. And I played 1 year of baseball and consequently got invited to the extended spring training down with the Chicago White Sox. But, the Pirates, being the Pirates, I mean, they helped me in that aspect of just knowing that I can play baseball. But the boys club, the boys club itself, it mean a whole different twist with me. I mean, it was a place that I could go and call a safe haven. A place where you got great coaches like Willie Cooper, Jose Eicherman. I mean, the list goes on and on. And it helped me to mature to the man I am today. And from that, I ended up playing college basketball here at Manatee Junior College here, now State College. And then every summer I was awarded to work at the Boys and Girls Club. So it brought me back as an employee. I left to go into Jacksonville. I transferred my job back to Jacksonville. So I've been a part of the Boys and Girls Club for many years. And when I became a college basketball coach, I came back home and started the Stanley Cromartie nonprofit basketball camp. And now it's in my son's name, the Dominic Rogers Cromartie camp. It's been running for 25 years at the Boys and Girls Club. And it's a free camp that we've been doing. The Boys and Girls Club is dear to my heart. I mean, anything I can do, I love it. And the Pirates. And Jeff, matter of fact, I'm a great Pirate fan. I even went to PNC Park when it opened that year. I flew up there and got me some good seats and watched the ball game. So, Boys and Girls Club and the Pirates mean a lot to me, especially here in Manatee County.
I know that it's near and dear for me as well, and it's obvious that they instill in their players, or their players develop this, is a core value of friendliness. They took time out. Now, all the fans that was paying, but they would pay a special tribute to the ones that was watching over the gate. They would acknowledge us, they would address us, they would wave, they would take that time out of their day. I have so many memories about the Boys and Girls Club. Where else can your parents give you $1 and you survive all day and get quality programming? I'm still trying to figure that one out. I would get $1 at the beginning of that day, and I was able to go to school all day, then to a club, and actually survive. Now, one of the creative things that I had to do is, you know, those snack machines, my arms were small enough where you can slide your hand up under the bottom and hit that bottom row. So, you know, we had to kind of do that divine intervention, you know, to make sure that you survive. And remember those cold cut combos that used to come in the summer and they were rock solid, frozen. But we didn't know the difference. We thought that was caviar or something, you know. So we were just so excited. But it also gave, you know, my single parent an opportunity to go back to college and have a safe learning environment for me as well, so that she can continue her education to provide a better life for me. So I'm always indebted to the Boys and Girls Club on your significant impact that you've made. We have done great things. We continue to do great things through our partnerships. I remember the sleepovers in the hot gym. We didn't know the gym was hot. We saw an opportunity to come together and we didn't have those air mattresses like we do today. You should see the various forms that used to come in there. And a significant memory is the pancake jamboree. Pancake jamboree, I mean, everybody in town knew that we were going to eat pancakes on this particular day at that particular time. And I'm first in line.
Okay, I just have to add, listening to your stories just now made me think the hot gym. I went to West Bradenton when I first started out, and that gym was very hot. The big fans did not help. But being next to McKechnie Field, yeah, I collected my fair share of baseballs too. Sometimes I still find them. But thank you so much, gentlemen, for sharing your lovely stories. And let's give them another hand. I know y'all have to. And now Ms. Dawn will come back up.
Some of you might wonder, did we plan on the AC not working to give you the hot gym experience? We did not. It was divine intervention, but it is back on now, so thankfully for that. Thank goodness. What a wonderful morning. Don't you all agree that it's just been so uplifting and inspiring to hear people's stories? And thank you, Alexis. You did an awesome job. Maybe I should have made you MC today. That would have been great. Listen, for any of you that are club alumni,